Okay, now to be continued. I'm going to ask Sigong several questions. Okay, so what is in the triathlon? What do you do in the triathlon to finish?
Well, the triathlon is contain, three sports. The first one is the swimming, The second is the biking. The third is running. So the international distance I did was 1.5K, swim,
Wow.
That's about, 0.93 a mile, a little bit short of 1 mile swim,
Almost about a mile
Yeah,
of swimming.
A mile, yeah,
Of swimming.
yeah.
Wow.
And 24.8 mile biking,
Wow.
cycling. And after that is 6.2 mile running,
Wow. So, do you remember the person, the first runner-up who won for the triathlon? Like, what was the time that they won?
Well, his time was about 1 hour 50 minutes.
1 hour and 15?
50.
Oh, 50.
1 hour 50.
50.
Yeah.
Wow. And what did you finish at again?
I finished, my time was 3 hours and 29 minutes.
That's pretty good.
But one thing I want to say is, this year, I did not seriously train for that because, I didn't have time to train, for the triathlon this year, Because most time I trained this year was, the fitness and the martial art training.
Oh yeah, Freddie's dad, yeah. What Freddie's dad did before, which just in case if some of you are new to Freddie's Modern Kung Fu YouTube channel, based on Freddie's dad's history, Freddie's dad mainly lifted a lot of weights and he did a lot of running. He never was much into the other fitness stuff and the martial arts with Freddie. Now that he has joined in with Freddie's Modern Kung Fu, he's starting to do more variety of weightlifting. He's doing a lot of more flexibility training. And so he was a lot more stiff and not as flexible before. But now that he's gone into more flexibility training with Freddie's group, he's become more flexible and he can kick higher. He could coordinate his jumping jacks better. He's able to lift more comfortably and with someone to spot him when he does a lot of different stuff like bench press and other type of weightlifting stuff. And so Freddie's dad has been a lot of fun addition, a lot of support and motivation to have him in with the Freddie's Modern Kung Fu team. And so instead of focusing too much training on the triathlon before, he has put his time into training with Freddie also with his group. And so combining with the flexibility training and with the other stuff that he does, fitness stuff, in Freddie's videos that you have seen, it has taken some of his time from the training for the triathlon into the other stuff too. So he's at least doing a balance of both. That's what he's doing. And he's a lot more flexible now, which is great. Yeah. So anything you want to say about the triathlon?
Well, the triathlon, I think next year I want to do better, Because, last year my time was 3 hours and 15 minutes to finish the race,
Okay, how many triathlons have you done so far?
Well, so far I have done, 9 triathlons.
9 triathlons?
Yeah, I started doing this since 2005,
Wow.
Every year I did that.
That was the year that Brandon was born, 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
So Brandon is 8 years old now, so that's pretty much right. So, okay, so for the triathlon...
The best time I finished the triathlon was 3 hours and 6 minutes.
3 hours and 6 minutes?
6 minutes, yeah.
Wow. And what was this past August was again? 3 hours?
3 hours and 29 minutes.
Oh, yeah, Dad, that's still pretty good. I think Freddie's dad's being too tough on himself, but that's pretty good though.
As a matter of fact, I didn't train much this year for the triathlon. I just go out for, for a bike ride for a few times, that was it.
Yeah, but I feel that since Freddie's dad has joined in with Freddie's training classes, I feel that Freddie's dad he's getting so much better with his balance on one foot and stretching and doing splits and being more flexible in general and kicking much higher than before, and he's getting more balance with his physique. So I think just training alone for something only kind of restricted his flexibility, but now he's so much more flexible and kicks a lot higher. He's a lot better, a lot better with his balance on one foot and stuff like that. So good job, Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for the marathon?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dad, okay, how many? Okay, before we go further, Freddie usually does the triathlon once a year. Okay, once a year. And for the marathon running, do you go just once a year or twice a year?
Well, I started doing running the marathon since 1999.
1999.
Yes,
My goodness.
Until to this day, so
awesome.
many years. And for two years, 2005, I did two marathons at that
wow.
year. I did, one in Chicago, one in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow.
2005. In 2010, I did two marathons too.
Awesome.
One in Chicago, and one in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
That's awesome. So this year you only did the marathon once then?
Yeah, just once, just in America.
Okay, so my curiosity is, when you just go do the running marathon once a year, what makes you go for a second one, even though like the 26K in downtown Chicago is very intense already? What gives you the motivation to go for a second marathon for the year?
Well,
when you have time or when you're in the mood for it, or what?
I want to, because I run the marathon just in Chicago. I want to go to some other place to run, see, what it look like.
Like a scenery kind of thing?
Yeah, the scenery and how I feel, if I run in some other places, other than Chicago.
So based on your experience, when you went twice a year at those two locations, one in Ohio and one was Louisiana, you said?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, okay. So when you went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and Louisville in Kentucky, going to those two different locations, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Did you really like it? Did it make you feel any different? Was it meditative or what?
It's different. The environment, everything is different. And I enjoyed that too.
Okay.
I had to drive there.
You didn't take the airplane. You drove there, right? And you drove by yourself.
Yeah, and I had to chill in hotels, and then stay in the hotel and then run the marathon. After that, I got to drive back to the town, to Chicago.
Okay, compare Chicago, Illinois, downtown Chicago, the running location, the paths and everything, the scenery, the people. Okay, so when you went to the other two locations running, did you like it better than Chicago, or did you think Chicago's setup was better?
Well, Chicago is better. More people,
Wow, more people.
Yeah, more runners,
Wow.
You go through more area. I mean, more neighborhoods.
More. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
In Louisville and Cincinnati, the course go through some area, not many people.
Oh, it's not that many support.
The course go through maybe the forest preserve, or go through the riverside, and not many people.
Oh,
Yeah. The Chicago, they go through maybe so many neighborhoods,
And there's always some people, supporters.
Yeah, a lot of spectators,
Okay, so, in case of some people don't know, so the two top winners, or the two top ranked marathon runners, they were both from Kenya, correct?
Kenya, yeah.
Yes, and what was his record?
Well,
it was 2 hours something, wasn't it? 2 hours?
Yeah, his time was
it was crazy.
Fast, 2 hours and 3 minutes and something.
You're right. Yeah. It was about 2 hours and 3 minutes, the first runner-up to win that. And what is what was the Chicago record, the highest record?
Well, this guy broke the course record in Chicago.
He broke the record, right?
Yeah,
yes.
This time.
Oh my goodness. So the guy from Kenya, he broke the Chicago, Illinois marathon running record about 2 hours and 3 minutes. He broke the record. Okay, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
But what is the record for the worldwide world? Wasn't it like an hour and 50 minutes? I don't know. What was it?
The record, I think they said in Boston,
Wow.
Maybe 2 hours and 3 minutes or some seconds. This
Really?
guy, you know,
Almost,
maybe-
almost,
yeah,
right?
almost.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Almost. Only if you ran a lot
Almost,
faster.
yeah.
That is crazy. So yeah, and so the two top ranked guys were from Kenya. Congrats to them. They are amazingly fast runners. So
Yeah,
congrats to them.
amazing.
So go Kenya. And okay, Dad, now I'm gonna ask you questions that I asked you in the minivan that one day. So, because just to get an idea of what I was gonna ask you. So I think it's pretty interesting. So just in general, besides training for the marathon and besides training for the triathlon and marathon stuff altogether, and besides training with Freddie, you do keep a routine. I was asking you, do you lift weights weekly on your own? Do you stretch on your own even when you're not training with nobody, when you're by yourself? So
Well,
what do you do to train for yourself in general
But, you
on a
know,
weekly basis?
You know, usually, you know, I do the running, you know, bicycling or swimming, you know, almost regularly, you know. But doing the weights once in a while, I do, you know, do the weightliftings and work out, you know. But, you know, the martial art training and, you know, fitness training, this is the first time, you know. I mean, I train it seriously, you know, especially in this place in the Kun.
Take one of your
Yeah.
medallions out.
Yeah.
Take one of it out. I think it's
Yeah.
making a lot of noise. It's
Yeah.
overpowering. Okay,
Yeah.
because I don't want it to make noise.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do weightlifting, what do? I know when you train with Freddie, you do like almost a lot of good stuff with Freddie here because we have all the equipments here and everything. So I've seen you do like the bench press stuff. You've done dumbbells, individual dumbbells. You've done pull-ups, chin-ups, whatever. You do push-ups. You do like, now that you're training with Freddie, I see that you're doing a lot of more variety on your different muscle groups, you know? And before, when you were not training with Freddie, what were you doing? And where were you training? In the basement or where were you training?
I joined the health club. You know.
Okay, you joined the health
I
club?
joined the health club. I do the, you know, because they got a pool.
A swimming pool that you
I
like?
can do the swimming, you know, over there, you know. And the weights, you know, I do the weightlifting, you know. And, that's about it, you know.
Okay.
But,
So,
you know, one thing I want to say is, you know, I think maybe this year, you know, my marathon, you know, finish time was better than last year.
oh wow.
Yeah.
What was last year then?
You know,
2012, what was
not
it?
just better than last year. It's better than the last 7 years.
Really?
Yes,
That is
you know.
crazy.
Yeah,
That is
because
amazing.
this year my finish time is 4 hours and 14 minutes and 13 seconds. Last year my time was 4 hours and 44 minutes
Wow.
and some seconds. I forgot exactly how many seconds. You know, that was half an hour faster this year. You know.
Wow. That's pretty good, Dad.
Yeah, before, you know, the year before last year, 3 hours and 39 minutes. And before that was 4 hours and 22 minutes, 4 hours and 33 minutes, 4 hours and 41 minutes. You know, I figure, you know, when I grow older, you know, I will slow down, you know.
Okay.
My time will not be as good as, you know, last year. But this year, you know, it's a little bit surprise to me because my time is a lot better than last year.
Interesting.
Yeah, and even better than the last 7 years. You know.
That's amazing.
I think, you know, maybe the weather has had a little bit to do with that because this year the weather is nice, you know.
It was not too
And
hot,
yeah,
not too
not
cold,
too
right?
hot, not too cold.
That's awesome.
But besides the weather, maybe it helped me a little bit. But besides the weather, I think, you know, it has something to do with, you know,
I believe
the
so.
martial art, you know, the fitness training and the kung fu training.
Yeah,
Because, you
definitely.
know, yeah.
I feel that too, Dad. Like
Yeah.
before, many years ago, Freddie's only been open for about 2 years now of his business. So anytime before 2 years ago, Freddie's dad was mainly just weightlifting and running and biking. He never really did stretching or did anything with balancing and stuff. So now that Freddie's dad integrated flexibility training and also balancing himself when he does side kicks and leg holds and stuff and balancing on one foot, he has improved so much. And before, jumping jacks was very difficult for him because he's never really done it much, and coordinating the jumping and the hand movements was kind of a challenge. But now he does it like with such ease, you know. So Freddie's dad has done like a lot of improvements on that. So I think integrating his normal training for the triathlon and marathon running, also training with Freddie, has really improved his flexibility and everything else on top of that. So it's a good combination. So it does make sense for him to get better in the marathon running.
Yeah, I think, you know, it helped me a lot to you know, finish stronger and better, you know. Because, you know, for the last 7 years, you know, my time was between, you know, 4 hours and 22 minutes and 4 hours, 44 minutes, you know, between that. But this year,
Awesome.
you know, I do better, you know,
Awesome.
better than these 7 years, you know. And I grow older too, you know, each year, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I figure, you know, maybe because of the martial art and fitness training, you know, help me to finish stronger, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And if you really, it's like I remember seeing Dad's kicks in the air where it wasn't as comfortable for him. He was more stiff, you know, and not as flexible, but now he can kick so much higher, you guys. Good job, Dad. So I'm serious, guys. Freddie's workouts are very, like a balance of everything. It's awesome. So, okay, so for Dad, he, in case some of you don't know his previous videos that we've interviewed him, and we were asking him, I was asking him before about what is meditation to him, what does he enjoy doing, and what motivates him, and what is naturally embedded in him to see himself at 63 years old in top shape. I don't know anybody who is 63 years old or even in their 50s that are as in shape as him. And his healthy eating, Freddie's dad does not smoke, he does not drink alcohol, he just eats healthy, and everything he does always revolves around healthy stuff. And the thing is that is so amazing is that he's very self-motivated before he even joined Freddie's Modern Kung Fu. Very self-motivated. He finds himself as, so I'll get to that. So I'm going to ask Dad. So for you, what is meditation for you? What makes you happy? What makes you at peace? What do you do, or what do you see that makes you happy, at peace, without needing outside to come to make you motivated? What makes you from inside? Anything in mind? Let it out.
Well, you know, I don't know, you know, about the meditate, you know, how to, you know, do it. I never, you know, meditate. You know? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people misunderstand what meditation is. Some people think meditation is like what Buddha does, where he sits, closes his eyes, he folds his legs, and he is folding his hand. He's at peace. People think meditation is mainly just sitting down and closing your eyes and thinking of nothing and being at peace within oneself. People tend to forget that meditation is, like for example, Freddie's dad, SIGUNG, he runs, and when he runs, it makes him feel good. That's a good form of meditation. When he runs, meditation can be as weird as baking desserts. Meditation could be when you're baking desserts, you're decorating your cake. Like for me, my meditation is baking desserts. I bake my cakes, I decorate it, I'm at peace. That is my meditation. That is what makes me happy. That's what makes me calm. And meditation could be Freddie's dad's activity, which is when he runs.
You know, that's my meditation.
Yeah, that's his meditation. That's his peace. That's his peace.
Yeah, when you ask me about that, I don't know how to, you know.
It's very
tell you about the meditation because I never did, you know.
Meditation comes in different forms. It could be when you're active. It could be when you're at calmness. So, I, from my perspective, I would say Freddie's dad's meditation would be running. And I remember asking him, when you run, what do you think about? And he says, nothing really. I just run because I like it and my body enjoys running. So that is meditation, because your mind is supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be at peace. It's not supposed to be flooded with anger or negativity and things that are bothering you constantly. So when he runs, I asked him, what do you think when you're running for that long at the marathon or just in general? He says, I think of nothing really. I just run. I'm like, whoa, that's meditation, Dad. If I was trying to be like Dad, I'd probably die after half a mile. I'd be like, let me call the taxi. Can I borrow your cell phone? So yeah, when Freddie's dad runs, it's crazy. I don't know how he does at his age, and I'm such a lazy bum. I'm like, no, running is not for me. I'm just so lazy. Anyway, so to see him is very inspiring. So, and the thing is, when you travel, when you did have to travel to those 2 locations for the marathon, like when you did the Cincinnati, Ohio, and Louisville, Kentucky, you enjoy going on your own. It's like a vacation for you anyways, right? You like it. You don't need people to go with you. You're self-motivated, right?
Yeah. I just ride there. I just rode there, you know, and then I do the marathon, and then after I get done, and then I drive back to Chicago.
Yeah. So you guys, Freddie's dad doesn't really need partners or people to motivate him. He obviously is very self-motivated to go on his own. He doesn't need to go in a group. He doesn't need his wife to go with him. He doesn't need to get friends and family to go with him. He just goes on his own, and he doesn't get a crowd to cheer him on to be there for him. He just goes on his own. So that shows that if people don't want to run with him, he's going to go run by himself anyways. If people don't want to sign up and join with him, he'll just go sign up by himself. So Freddie's dad is a very strong person in terms of like being so self-motivated, being so driven in him so naturally that he just does it without realizing how powerful he is, you know, and how inspirational he is to a lot of people actually. And today we just got back from a restaurant in Evanston, Little Walk. It's pretty good food there. New management is very nice, you know, and so Freddie and I, on our side, we sat next to an older couple, very nice, sweet couple, and they saw Freddie's Mountain Kung Fu t-shirt or tank top, whatever, and started talking to us, and they're like in shock. The man was, I would say, about in his 70s, mid-70s, and the wife, I don't know, I believe she's younger because she looked younger. So, and they're a very nice couple. And so they're like inspired by Freddie's dad being 63 years old and doing marathon and triathlon. They're like, wow, I want to look like him. I want to look like your dad. It was so funny. So dad is very inspiring to people. When people first see Sigong, they're like, a nice young guy, okay. But when they realize his age, their eyes pop out and they're like, whoa, that is crazy. Look at his muscles. It was so funny. And the shirt that Sigong is wearing right now was what he wore to the marathon, but he wore a different shirt. He wore the white Freddy's Mountain Kung Fu, which is completely sleeveless. But right now, he's wearing quarter sleeve, so it's covering his upper muscle area. But when he showed his sleeve, wearing his sleeveless shirt, he showed more of his muscle. So they're like, whoa, look at his muscle. That's insane. And people think that we're lying. We're like, no, he's 63, guys. Seriously, it's his dad. It's not his brother or uncle. It's his dad. So it's funny. So we're going to also do anything you want to put into this, Dad?
Well,
any last word or any advice, any motivational comment or anything you want to say to people that are watching you, or what do you recommend for them or anything?
Well, you know, I love, to exercise, you know, and I eat healthy, you know. I eat healthy food, you know. I don't smoke. I just, live a healthy life, you know. And I enjoy, doing the runnings, swimming and cycling, you know. And on top of that, I like, weightlifting too, you know. And now I enjoy doing the, the kung fu, the martial arts, you know. And I like a lot of challenge, because for me, I always, try to, challenge myself, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah, because martial art is, is now, I enjoy doing that because, can give me some, technique to, the self-defense technique and the fitness training, keep me in shape,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
go
ahead.
It helped me, to do better. I mean, in the triathlon or marathon,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even when Freddie's dad trains in a group, some of the clients are more than half his age. More than half his age. Dad still surpasses their quantity in terms of like push-ups, chin-ups, and pull-ups, and all this crazy weightlifting stuff that Freddie's dad does is hilarious. And so they look at Dad as such an inspirational tool, as like, man, I want to be like your dad. Man, I gotta beat my butt and start working harder and get myself to be like your dad's shape. It's almost like they're striving towards being healthy and strong, like what Freddie does and what his father does. It's pretty inspirational to see like the father and son work as a tag team. And so in the recent videos, you haven't really seen much of SIGUNG lately, except for just like since Friday was his first time coming back to training. October 18th, which is baby Ken's first birthday. Ken turned 1 year old, and Grandpa is 63 years old and has 5 grandkids. And so October 18th, which is yesterday, was his first time coming back to training because he's been busy training with the triathlon and marathon running. So now he's back, guys. You'll see him again now.
Yeah, I keep, coming here, until next year, to try.
More years to come.
And marathons, I keep doing that, I still, want to do, what I love to do, If, as long as I feel okay, I'll keep doing the triathlon and the marathon until, I don't know, until one day
it stops you someday.
I stop, Maybe my body tell me, okay, this is it. But so far, I feel good,
Dad, you know what I think? What is so amazing, is so different, is that, for example, Jackie Chan has injured himself for so many years, doing all these crazy stunts, and he has broken hundreds of bones, I heard in one interview. Hundreds of bones. From head to toe, he's broken bones a lot and spraying a lot of, joints and stuff, really injured himself. So that alone, imagine if you were a movie star, you did a lot of stunts, you injured your body a lot, And Jackie Chan is about in his 50s now, Dad?
Yeah.
In his 50s? Okay. And so now my father-in-law, Mr. Lee, is 63 years old. And imagine if he injured himself constantly every year making movies or just in general, broken bones, injured joints or swelling, and imagine he was always in bad shape. I don't think he'll be able to run and swim and bike all these athletic level that he is at right now. So I think like avoiding injuries, avoiding broken bones, avoiding like joint discomfort and swelling throughout your body here and there from injuries, avoiding that stuff is going to keep him going. So as long as Dad avoids those injuries, he's just going to keep going,
keep going.
Take care of yourself, avoid injuries. And people that are very egoistic, that are always talking about fighting people, challenging people because their egos are too up behind their butt, and that are just always so egoistic and try to like bully people to fight when people don't want to fight them. Those are the kind of people that will constantly get into injuries and claiming that they're so good that they're going to avoid injuries. Whatever. Your mentality is just really messed up, and it needs to be in a more meditative way, in a more safer way. So I'm glad that Freddie's dad is going through a route of trying to avoid injuries and just keep doing what he loves and not doing it to prove it to anybody, but rather because he loves it from his heart. And so I find that very spiritual in Freddie's dad, and just find it enlightening to, to see someone who just does it because he loves it, not because there are people out there supporting him and cheering him on and joining him as a group, but he does it on his own, even without anyone supporting him. So that's a really good way to see that you do it as a lifestyle, not because someone's paying you or someone's joining you. If people don't join you, you're not going to do it at all. But no, Freddie's dad does it because he loves it, and he will do it even if no one joins him. So we're really proud of Dad, and congrats for your 2013 marathon and triathlon. And okay, another question before I forget. So what is your what is your longest time frame to finish the marathon, and what was your highest? Well, that you finished the quickest for the marathon.
Because that was the first year, 1999.
Okay.
The first year I ran the marathon. My time to finish the marathon was 4 hours and 1 minute and 57 seconds.
Wow, you still remember?
Yeah.
Down to the seconds, guys. Got a good memory. That's the best running.
And after that year, I did a few years, a few times, about 4 hours and a few minutes, maybe 4 hours and 2 minutes, 4 hours 3 minutes, and 4 hours and 2 minutes. I did maybe 2 times,
Wow.
4 hours and 3 minutes at one time, 4 hours and 7 minutes.
Wow. All about the same range, Dad.
in 4 hours and 1 minute. You know.
Okay, what is your slowest for the running marathon?
The slowest, you know, is there was a 2007. 2007, you know, my time was 5 hours and 21 minutes. Because that year, you know, I was dehydrated, you know.
Really? Was it really hot?
Because the weather
Was it
was
really
so
hot?
hot. Maybe,
Wow.
you know, that day, the marathon day was, the temperature went up to maybe 90 degrees.
That is crazy.
And you know,
wow.
and the water stations, they give us very little water, not much water, you know.
That's horrible.
And in some water stations even ran out of water, you know, no water. So, you know, I was, lack of water and I was dehydrated, you know, and I got cramp, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why, you know.
Dehydration will do that.
It was tough for me that year, you know.
Okay.
And I was lucky, you know, I can finish the race, you know.
I know.
My time that year was 5 hours and 21 minutes to finish, you know, that year's marathon. And the rest of the year, all about 4 hours.
About the same range.
Yeah,
okay.
4 hours. Only that year over 5 hours.
Okay, cool. So for the triathlon, what was the quickest and what was the longest?
Well,
you finished it.
The triathlon, you know, the best time to finish the triathlon was 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And the longest time to finish the triathlon was about 3 hours and 3.5 hours, you know.
Yeah, that was still good, Dad.
Yeah, that between 3 hours and 3.5 hours. You know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so any more last thoughts, or is that all for good?
Well, just like I said, you know, I'm a kind of person, they always like a challenge, you know. Yeah.
That is a challenge, Dad.
Yeah. Running the marathon is a challenge, you know. Doing the triathlon is a challenge, you know. And now, you know, I joined the martial arts, you know, the kung fu fitness training. To me, is also a challenge.
Yes, it
I
is.
can learn, you know, some, self-defense technique and make my body more flexible, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, build more strength, you know, the punches and kicks.
Yeah,
and I enjoy doing that too.
That's
I
good.
keep doing that, and you know, the marathons and triathlon, until, you know, maybe one day, you know, my body tell me, okay, this is it. I don't know, you know. So far,
well, it's funny.
I feel good, you know.
It's so funny because this past Sunday, October 13th, I think some people were saying, or Mom was saying, that after Freddie's dad did the marathon, the 26K in Chicago, he still
26 miles.
Oh, 26 miles?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
26.2 miles.
That is so crazy. I die after half a mile.
Miles, you know.
That's crazy. 26-mile running. After Dad did that, he still seemed so energized and acted like it was nothing. Like he was still walking just fine, he was breathing just as good and still full of energy. It's so hilarious. So, okay guys, so 1 week from now, we're gonna do another interview and we're gonna spread out his entire medallion necklaces and we're gonna lay it on the floor as we did with the interview we did, like, I believe a year ago at least or something. So we're gonna do a new video as a fun update and we're gonna lay it on the mats and for you guys to see all his medallions. Pretty interesting and fun. So, alright guys, stay tuned. There'll be another video coming out for Freddie's Mountain Kung Fu interviewing SIGUNG, Freddie's dad. Alright, Dad, good job. See ya.